Alright, picked up a lawnmower today, a free one, Craftsman 163 6C. The previous owner stated that it runs, but it shuts off when hot, so I'm assuming it's the ignition coil, I'm not sure. But we'll fire her up and see how she runs. Okay, after letting the mower run for about 15 minutes, nothing happened. Stayed running, no surge or anything. Seemed like it was fine. I can only think of maybe bad fuel in the carburetor and maybe a bad filter as well. When I first pulled it, it wasn't starting, and I noticed when I opened up the cover here, the air filter is stained with fuel. So this makes it a little harder for air to get through and easier for dirt to catch. So this is bad. And then I sprayed starting fluid and it caught right away. So I think it may be those two other issues: the bad air filter and bad fuel in the carburetor. So I'm gonna open up the carb and clean it. So for this particular model, you're gonna need to remove this housing. It's held on by 4 bolts. I think the outer were 8mm, inner were 7mm. Once you pull that out, you have 2 bolts, one here and one back here, that are hold on to the bottom of the carburetor bowl. And once you loosen those, it'll drop. Check the fuel. Looks good. Smells good. That's not a good sign. There's oil in the carburetor. You can see that. Yeah, there's oil in the carburetor. So usually what that means is there's too much oil. Someone put too much oil in there, but I just checked it earlier and didn't seem too bad. Gonna have to check it again, but It's a little hot right now, so I have to wait for that. Anyway, I'll clean the carburetor for now. I'll come back to the oil. It is a little dirty, so I'm going to spray down a bit, and gonna remove this as well. Clean the carburetor out. All right, I was able to pull the carburetor out. Sprayed it down a little bit. It's a little cleaner now. I'm gonna remove the bowl necks. Remove these two bolts here. All right, got the two bolts off. I'm gonna cut off the fuel with the needle nose lock pliers. Just clamp this hose down right here. Connects from the tank to the carburetor. And then I'm gonna grab a little screwdriver and pry this little space open so that this bolt drops. Alright, so I got the bowl off. This seal right here is in between the bowl and this plastic piece right here. So it creates a pretty nice seal. That's why you need to pry it open with the flat screwdriver. And then I was able to drain some of the fuel that was in the bowl, and actually doesn't smell right, so it looks okay, but can't really tell if this the contrast with my catch tray here. So I'm gonna drain out the whole system. I'm gonna siphon the fuel out here into my bad fuel tank gallon here, so replace it with the fresh new fuel. And I'm gonna clean out the carburetor as well. Got my siphon going. Okay, get the fuel siphoned out of the fuel tank. Now there's a little bit of fuel left in the system, so I'm gonna release this lock plier and have the rest of it drain out here. It's also a good way to test your float, see if it's functioning properly. Oh, looks like that's it. Oh, a little bit left. Yep, float's working. Alright, now it's time to remove the plastic main jet, which is this piece right here. And what you do is you pry between the white plastic and the black plastic piece. And what you want to do is pry it and then pull it down, and then this piece will come out. Let me try to show you. It's kind of hard to film and do this at the same time. There we go. And make sure you clean the inside here as well as the main jet. So there's 3 holes on top and then 1 on the bottom here. And then sometimes I'll take a metal brush and floss the holes, but these look pretty good, so I'll just spray it down. Alright, got the main jet cleaned and put back. Just make sure when you put it back it's flush like this, and when you push it in, your snap. Okay, I have the bowl back on as well as the 2 bolts. Now it's time to push the carburetor back. Make sure when you push it back, make sure these 2 seals, the white and the black seal, are there. Sometimes it'll sit here, sometimes it'll sit on that tube right there. Alright, got the carburetor back in. Now it's time to put back on the cover, the air filter housing. Make sure when you put it back on that this breather tube connects here. Alright, got the air filter housing back on. What I'm going to next is refuel it. Then after that, I'm going to check the oil. Yeah, the oil looks fine. This is where it was at when I checked earlier. So make sure when you're checking the level, make sure it's between those two dots. Lower is okay, but not good. Higher is not acceptable. So when it's above the two dots, what'll happen is oil will get into the combustion chamber, and residual oil will get onto the spark plug, and that'll be too wet to create a spark. So you don't want that. All right, so she's ready to go for a test run. As you saw earlier, the old air filter had some fuel stains on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the new air filter off just in case. Let it run for a bit, see if there's any more fuel leak coming from here. But what I should do first is clean this area. So I would spray it down with the carb cleaner, then I'll wipe it down and make sure that it's dry so that if there is any leak, it'll be visible. Alright, gonna fire it up, let it run for a bit. Alright, after letting the lawnmower run for about 12 minutes, there's no sign of leak. Looks good. And the mower did not shut off as well, so I think the issue with this lawnmower was bad fuel and a somewhat clogged air filter. So I think what happened was the previous owner, tilted the lawnmower the wrong way. The wrong way is air filter down. So what you want to do is, if you want to look at the blade below, is tip the lawnmower air filter side up. So yeah, air filter side up like this. And then all I have to do now is top off the oil, put on the new air filter, and check the blade. And if I want to, I could clean the spark plug as well. So that's it. Easy pickup. Not always this easy, but if only they were all like this. Thanks for watching.